Everyone thinks the Odyssey is an adventure story. Monsters, sirens, a clever hero sailing home. It isn't. It's the oldest, truest story ever written about trauma. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Start with the arithmetic because it's brutal. 10 years fighting at Troy. Then 10 more years trying to get home. 20 years. That isn't a voyage. That's a man who lost the ability to find his way back to himself. Read Odysseus closely, and it's obvious what he's carrying. He's seen a decade of slaughter, of friends dying badly, of things you can't unsee. His soul is shattered. Home is out there, waiting, and something inside him cannot close the distance. And he isn't the only casualty. Penelope has waited 20 years with no word. Is he alive? Is he dead? She can't grieve him, and she can't hope for him. She's frozen between two lives, unable to live either one. We call that depression today. Their son, Telemachus, grew up with a legend for a father and an empty chair at the table. He's angry, adrift, aching for a man he has never actually met. A whole family, 3 different wounds. Now here's the part most people miss. The monsters aren't monsters. Every creature Odysseus meets is a way of not going home. Read them as the mind, and the poem cracks wide open. The lotus eaters come first. His men eat, and they simply stop caring. No pain, no memory, no wanting to leave. That's not a plant, that's numbing. That's every way we've ever invented to stop feeling something instead of carrying it. Then the Cyclops. Odysseus escapes by cleverness. And then, sailing away, he can't resist shouting his real name back at the shore. Pure. That one boast earns him the wrath that costs him years. His pride literally delays his own homecoming. The sirens promise to sing him everything that happened at Troy. Notice what the temptation actually is. It's the past. The story of his own worst years, made beautiful. He has himself tied down so he can listen without steering into the rocks. Anyone who's ever picked at an old wound knows that rope. Then Calypso, 7 years on an island with a goddess who offers him comfort, ease, even immortality. And this is the strangest part of the poem. He sits on the shore and weeps, because a comfortable life that isn't yours is still a kind of exile. He'd rather be mortal and go home. The turning point isn't a battle. He's a guest at a foreign court, hiding who he is, and a singer performs a song about the war at Troy. About him. And this hardened man pulls his cloak over his face and sobs where no one can see. Sit with that. He can survive the war. He cannot survive hearing it told back to him. That's what unprocessed grief does. It waits, and it comes for you through a song, a smell, a stranger's story. And then he finally reaches Ithaca. 20 years. And what does he do? He doesn't march up to the palace. He arrives in disguise, dressed as a beggar, unrecognized, testing everything before he reveals himself. That's the truest thing in the whole poem. You don't come home as a hero. You come home unsure of your welcome, unsure you deserve it, half expecting the life you left to have closed over the space where you used to be. The old nurse washes his feet and knows him instantly, not from his face, but from a scar on his leg from a boyhood hunt. 20 years changed everything about him except an old wound. Sometimes the injury is the only part of you that's still legible. His dog is the first to recognize him. Ancient now, lying neglected, the animal lifts his head, knows his master, and dies. That's the cost written in one image. Some things waited for you, some things you don't get back. And Penelope doesn't just fall into his arms. She tests him. She mentions moving their bed, and he snaps because he built that bed himself around a living olive tree rooted in the ground. It cannot be moved. Only the real husband would know. Look at what's actually happening there. Trust isn't restored by a reunion scene. It's restored by proof, carefully, on her terms. She'd been lied to by strangers for years. She isn't taking anyone's word for it. And the ending isn't the violence. After it's all over, the two of them lie awake and tell each other everything. 20 years of it, all night. That's the real homecoming, not the arrival, the telling. So read the Odyssey as what it truly is. Not an adventure, a map. For anyone coming back from a war, an addiction, a grief, a version of themselves they're ashamed of, home was never a place you sail to. It's a self you have to rebuild, slowly and mostly in the dark.